It's been recently announced that 3 carrier groups are on their way to North Korea: the USS Nimitz, the USS Ronald Reagan, and the USS Carl Vinson. To put this number into perspective, only 2 carrier groups were necessary during the war in Iraq. What does this mean? It means that there's a high probability that these carrier groups are on their way right now to North Korea to launch an attack. And the Armada is scheduled to arrive sometime next week. Right now, Russia and China are amassing hundreds of thousands of troops and military equipment near their borders with North Korea in anticipation of an attack. The North Koreans, for their part, have stated that they're ready to launch a preemptive nuclear strike against South Korea and the Armada that's headed their way. Latest reports on our missile defense systems suggest success will be spotty at best. These missile defense systems are still in the testing phase, and while some tests have been successful, they have yet to be proven on the battlefield or in a full-scale war. Which means that right now the stage is being set for a new Gulf of Tonkin incident. An incident that could drag us into a very ugly war. A war that could potentially wipe out both North and South Korea and perhaps one or more of our aircraft carriers. The casualties could be enormous. And the fact that the arrival of these 3 aircraft carriers to the region has been telegraphed weeks in advance gives the North Koreans time to plan their strike and/or counterstrike. Now, if we didn't know better, it looks like President Trump is using our aircraft carriers as bait for a new war. A war that would make Trump a wartime president, and a war that would put Trump's failing America First policy on the back burner. Not only that, but a war in North Korea has the potential of dragging other countries into that war, including its neighbors and longtime supporters, namely Russia and China. Now, if Trump was just planning to strike North Korea like he did Syria, wouldn't they have informed the world after it happened? That was a stated policy during the campaign, that we weren't going to announce our military strategy in advance. But here he's telling the whole world 3 juicy targets are going to be right off the coast of North Korea if anybody wants some. And the Koreans are nibbling at the bait, saying they'll nuke our carriers. This whole story of announcing the arrival of our aircraft carriers and the Armada seems unnecessary unless they're hoping they get attacked, giving President Trump the perfect pretext to launch a war in North Korea. A war that nobody wants, and a war that risks dragging the entire world into a world war. Yes, something needs to be done about North Korea. Yes, they are a clear and present danger. But 3 aircraft carrier groups won't be enough to save South Korea if war breaks out on the peninsula. And South Korea will pay the price for our failed diplomacy. To make matters worse, there's a high probability that North Korea has snuck in nerve gas into our very own country. A nerve gas that could be released in a wave of state-sponsored terrorism in our biggest cities. If you're just joining us, breaking news, South Korea confirms that 3 aircraft carrier groups are going to be heading to the Korean peninsula, which is a very unusual circumstance, and usually when we see that many aircraft carriers in one location, that definitely means war. And it seems like people have been talking about this possibility for the past week or so. But this is the first confirmation that we've had of an uptick in military presence in the area. And of course, if this is being reported by the South Korean press, of course the North Koreans are well aware of what's coming, and they've continued on with their with their remarks, saying that now they're going to be launching missiles every week. You've had the Russians and other regional powers out there warn not to be conducting Syrian-type missile launches out there, and so this could very well boil over into another world war. Other news that people are talking about, of course, is the censorship, the cyber gulag that Google and company are placing various websites in. They've invented the cyber gulag, and people are surprised, even though we've been warning here for years that they are basically the beast system, and they'll be looking to get everybody chipped with the mark of the beast, and they'll be deploying Terminators, Skynet, and the like for your extermination pleasure. Very first footage this week came out of a Terminator-looking anthropoid, double fisting, guns and shooting at targets. and this is only going to be part of the infantry that will be coming our way here fairly shortly, as well as drones and automated tanks and the like. And this, of course, will have to be deployed before they can unroll their Georgia Guidestone's final solution. And of course, every patriot and Christian should be concerned here, because we've already been targeted, according to official documents. And a little bit of that has come out in the IRS scandal. A little bit of that has come out in the MIAC report, as well as other Homeland Security reports, clearly stating that Christians and patriots and veterans are in the same category as terrorists and white supremacists. And we've seen that rhetoric quite a lot here recently, with the attempted affiliation between the alternative right or the independent media and white supremacy. So they have no doubt that they are looking to target and wipe out Christians and patriots eventually. It's only a matter of time. We are the edge of the knife. We are there in the close combat, talking about the things that nobody else wants to talk about, and we need your support. This is a listener-supported channel. Obviously, Google and the major corporations aren't going to be sponsoring our message or the truth, or they're not going to be sponsoring any of the the issues that matter. They're going to be sponsoring the libtard fluff and the fascism and the radical left. So we need your support. Please do consider tipping the truthers out here at STFN. You can check us out at Patreon/STF News. We've left a link to that on our Facebook feed.